I've been learning how them days can turn to cycles round.
Yeah, guys. Oh, just another thing I wanted to talk about now. Still, yeah. So we've got the Conservative Party coming up, and race is just becoming a conversation, which is absolutely crazy out there. Still, yeah. Race is becoming a conversation, nationality. You know, the so-called religion wars, which have been really been focused upon thanks to really it's race. It's got nothing to do with religion. You know, people just attacking anybody who's black or brown. You know, black and brown or browns. You know what I mean? Because we're all brown. You know, I'm seen as black but not brown. But you know, but I am brown. But you know what I mean, people anyway. So yeah, but. I'm gonna see what everybody's favorite, not everybody's favorite tea, who's not my favorite MT in the rest of the year. So I thought, let me just see and just give a taste of the thoughts coming out of a black MP who is representing skin folk and their viewpoint out there. And I think I just want to catch a bit of this interview, the Telegraph, that Kemi Badenoch did. And I think that let me see if you know how I feel about what she's saying. And people might think, oh, you gotta play the whole thing, get it into context. Well, I'll play her section that she talked about because she did an interview with somebody. Anyway, so on the Telegraph. Okay, let's check this out, guys.
2, you are declared now as a leadership candidate. You want to be the leader of His Majesty's opposition.
Okay, guys. I can put money on that. Black leadership is not going to happen. Even if you get the credentials right now in this season, right now, to get back for reform what's been taken from them, it ain't going to happen. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's a right thing. I'm just putting it out there. So sister needs to just wake up, but you know, so you go.
And yet, in recent days, there have been lots of newspaper allegations about you, about your conduct as a minister, anonymous briefings by civil servants, and you've described those newspaper articles on social media as a hit job.
Yes.
Why do you think that's happening?
Because people are worried about my candidacy. The paper that's doing it is The Guardian, and since the very minute I was elected, The Guardian has written nasty article after nasty article because I take a different position on their worldview. Whether it's on race, where I have been very robust on what I think we should do as a country. This is not a racist country, and we have been getting along very well until people started stoking identity politics. I hate identity politics, and The Guardian loves it. That and being a gender critical woman. So the idea that I become a party leader is threatened.
So she's talked about race and sexuality as just almost blended them both together because she stands for both anyway. Still, yeah, I get you, sis. You know what I'm saying. But end of the day, still, yeah, we'll get a bit further in, guys. Yeah, but you see the vibe that she's coming on. If you're going to, you know, the worldview of race, you know what I mean, to know that, you know, that this world is not what it seems to be, based upon the propaganda for the past couple hundred years from European nations, you know what I'm saying. I think they refer with more to do with that, and they're critically challenging some of the mindset and the thought processes of European influenced history. Why they're here anyway. So you know what I mean, it's a worldview. What's this worldview talk? It's like it's negative, but anyway.
To them. And this is a story that they've been trying to run for over a year. Many civil servants have given contrary views. They refuse to publish them. They've refused to do anything except mix lots of different stories by one person to use to attack me. And I think that's a real shame. But what it really points to is what happens if you're somebody who dares to speak out. People are always asking me, why is no one saying anything about this? This is a scandal. This is terrible. Why doesn't anyone do this? Why doesn't anyone sack this person who's been appointed and is doing a terrible job? This is why. Because if you stick your head above the parapet, if you say this is wrong, if you sack people who are doing a bad job.
But Kimmy, you know, keep on believing what you believe in, you know, and she got a point still, yeah. You know, everybody has a space for their opinion, so she may be different from me just because we're both the same color. We don't have the same view when it comes to racism and different things like that. And you know what? The world is beautiful and the world allows for that. So keep your opinion, but I'll give my opinion.
They can just go to a paper like The Guardian, and they can be anonymous, and they can make up lots of stuff, but because they've said it, The Guardian will print it, and at the end of it, they'll print a small denial. And many people are scared of that. Many people don't want the hassle, and as ministers, I'm sure Connor would have found the same thing. We are coached not to intervene. Don't say anything. Oh, it might be a breach of the ministerial code. Or, you know, you having a tit for tat with this person is not a good look. Just rise above it. So everybody's rising above it, but nothing's getting better. Whereas my view is that if something's broken, you should speak up and try and fix it. And I'll never stop doing that. It doesn't matter how many nasty stories The Guardian writes about me. I will always be there speaking up for Telegraph readers, for example, because if they're attacking me, they're not attacking somebody else, and I can take it.
So you think there are civil servants who have been deliberately trying to damage you, damage other Conservative colleagues, whether in government or in opposition?
Well, I think what was really interesting about that story was the text message, which is now public, which the writer, Pippa Pereira, was sending to...
That's the Guardian journalist.
Yes, that's the Guardian journalist. Was sending to lots of civil servants. And what it does is it actually damages the relationship between officials and ministers. If anybody can be encouraged to break the ministerial code, sorry, the civil service code, and make up stories because they don't like a minister, every minister, doesn't matter whether you're a Conservative or whether you're Labour, every minister is going to have their hands...
So showing some heat, you know, people are kind of heated. He's exposing they go up to the papers, you know. You know what I'm saying? She's meant to just ignore it, but she's going for them.
Behind their backs, because anyone in the room could damage them so easily. And that's not good for the running of the country. I don't want this to happen to even Labour ministers. Everyone should be free to do their job. And it's really sad because this story is damaging for the civil servants who I worked with, who were great. This person who was writing this was actually a volunteer on my campaign who joined the civil service on a fixed-term contract to be a personal assistant. So all of this stuff was in her job description. And I don't want to get into the details of it because it's actually a distraction. It's the bigger picture that we should look at. But if you want ministers, they're going to speak out. You look at all the tension that we've been seeing.
She's doing some backstabbing as well, you know.
Yeah. In the country, over the last few days in Southport and Hartlepool, everybody's quiet. They're not saying anything because they don't want to upset the Guardian. They don't want to upset, that cultural establishment that wants to pretend that.
What should they be saying? What's going unsaid?
What is going unsaid is that we need to have a clearer strategy on integration, which we don't have at the moment. Instead, we just pretend that everything is fine and it's a few bad eggs, which is sometimes the case. But if you want to have a successful multiracial country, you need to make an effort to do it. You can't just pretend that there are no tensions. And we've been seeing this not just between ethnic minorities and white British people, even between ethnic minorities. This is not normal. And we had a great commission that was set up in 2021, the Commission on Race and Ethnic Disparities. All the people on there were ethnic minorities from everyday life. Yes, the SEAL Commission. Not
So ultimately, she's saying, the Shield Commission, just give you guys information. We did a video about this on the station, and it's saying that there's no systemic racism. They found out and whatever. For God's sake, we did have a creative debate about this anyway. Still, yeah. And yes, we have the space to have an opinion, but I don't really like her angle on things. So I'm not really feeling your sis on this one, and you know what, people gonna kill you for that, because they did this. So yeah, if you gonna push your view, there's a lot of civil servants that put things together or do different things towards a project, and it makes next week it gets twisted up and it ends up being saying, sorry guys, there's no racism in the system, so it's gonna be cool. You have a lot of people not really happy, but I'm not saying it's because of that, but at the end of the day, still, yeah, she's stepping on toes.
Not race relations industry people, but doctors, teachers, policemen, and they came out and wrote what they think should be done to help make sure that we continue to be well integrated. All of that stuff is now being scrapped by Labour. All the stuff that we did on, trans guidance.
So they should scrap it, man. You know what I'm saying? That piece of work, I didn't speak to anybody on the ground that said that piece of work was accurate. We looked, obviously, there's many pieces of paper, but how to say there's no systemic racism is just does not make any absolute sense.
For schools, it's all being unpicked, everything. So even when people said we didn't do things, the things that we did do are being unpicked, and I think that's going to be really bad for the country going forwards.
I want to bring Connor in just one moment.
How is it bad for the country?
If I may, but on the Sewell Commission, because we may not get time to come back to it, the Sewell Commission, of course, concluded that it didn't find Britain to be institutionally racist. Tony Sewell is a very proud South Londoner of Jamaican heritage who wanted to assert that his lived experience,
we call them sellouts,
if you like, of being a black Londoner, there had been ups and downs, there had been bumps in the road, but he was tremendously grateful, and his family were...
Bumps in the road mean fires, abuse, Tommy boys going around stabbing, killing. I've got being called the N-word everywhere you go. People not getting jobs because they got the right qualifications but not getting a chance to walk through the door because they're black. There's ups and downs, knowing that as a black man your earning potential is way lower than your counterparts, not because of your education but because of your skin tone.
Tremendously grateful to the opportunity that the UK had given them. Do you feel the same way?
I do. And if you look at the reaction that...
Of course she does.
Dr. Sewell and the Commission had, it was unbelievably negative, again, from that cultural media establishment. Lots of people brought on into the news stations to pillory them. They've never experienced things like that before. They weren't public figures. And the point I'm trying to make is that people like Tony Sewell, is Lord Sewell now, I should say, people like those commissioners, people like me, get attacked because we are trying to defend the country. And that is to send a signal to other ethnic minorities who agree with us that if you speak up, you will be in trouble. We will come after you unless you are shouting about how racist everything is.
But I do agree for the fact that basically there needs to be a space. If you disagree with my viewpoint and my viewpoint when it comes to racism, there is there. Sis, you've got every space to do it, but it becomes very tedious when we've been here for so long, and then you no offense to you, sis, like my mum, you know, as Afro-Caribbeans, we've been here for a long time, sis, yeah, and now you're gonna come tell us now, oh, you've never seen it. I've seen you have do interviews and you've turned around and said you've never seen racism, so it's easy. Anyway,
Incentive is given for those people who want to complain and say everything is terrible, come on the show, you know, accuse everybody of racism. The people who say, hang on, there's a different side to it, are accused of aiding white supremacists or being in it for themselves. And so fewer and fewer people will come out and speak up. And that's the culture of silence that I want to break. If I am the leader of the opposition, we're not going to be having that anymore. It's not about having a fight. It is about speaking the truth. The whole of my campaign, which I will be launching in September, right now I'm going around the country listening to members, it's about truth. If we had been honest about a few more things, I think we'd still be in government today. And it was just the keeping quiet rather than speaking out frustrates the, you know, the general public. And then they start deciding that only a party like Reform will tell it like it is, which is not the case. Conservatives should be the one telling it like it is.
So basically, you're saying that Conservatives should be the party that keeps it 100 when it comes to immigration. Conservatives are the Conservative Party, and they need to be keeping it 100 when it comes to race talk. But it's not as bad as what people make it out to be. That's it, what it is, and she needs to say. She's basically saying they should be upfront. And even as a black woman, you know, paraphrasing, you know what I mean, that, you know, I don't see it, and Conservatives should be sitting up in that, and that's how we claim back Reform. I said at the beginning of his video, but you know, you're trying to really bring back the lost votes, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, oh Lord, now if you vote Conservative, yeah, Kemi is gonna be potentially going to be your leader. I hardly doubt it, because you're gonna be a bit more blatant with immigration. You know, for me, they're gonna be a bit more blatant. Said you're not British, so you won't be the leader, sis. We need to have a British person there, you know, and you don't fit the job. So that's the harsh. That's what I can see. You know what I mean? What you're pushing for, that mindset and where things going. So we just had a tough time, guys. You know, we've had a lot of things going on the streets. You know, really people abusing. Such a sad situation when it, and a lot of people coming out with EDL. But as I said before, guys, education is the way forward. Educating people to respect each other, let people see the beauty of what they bring to the table. We're not here to suck this country dry. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why we're here, and it's a lot deeper than what you think. And we have to respect when we get here, and also if things are gonna release up from the top, so we can go back home and enjoy our home when freedoms are rubbish. You know, guys, it's all thing which may not ever be fixed, but it's just the reality of what it is. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is, guys. Anyway, so yeah, big up everyone. Anyway, so this is Roger and everything, Texas, everything, gospel music of black origin. Let's keep it 100.
I thought these symbols of love would mean something.
Hi, and thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you like, and you comment, and make sure that you're sharing the videos and watching so much more.